How to print and analyze the printhead status plot on the HP Jet Fusion 5200, 5600, and 4200 3D printers. Please note that although the video shows a 5200 3D printer, the replacement procedure also applies to the 5600 and 4200 3D printer. The printhead status plot is used to assess the printhead nozzle health. To do so, go to the front panel, tap the settings icon, then Utilities, Part Quality Troubleshooting, and finally Printhead Status Plot. Then, follow the instructions on the front panel. Open the external cleaning roll door, and take the calibration tool from inside the door. Close the external cleaning roll door. Open the top cover. Insert the calibration tool between the cleaning roll and the recoding unit in either of the two positions. Place a tabloid or a 3-sized sheet of blank paper cut in half along the long side on the calibration tool. Close the top cover. Tap OK on the front panel. You can visually check each printhead status. A 10x magnifying glass is recommended to analyze the plot. Remove the calibration tool and put it back inside the cleaning roll door. There are patterns corresponding to each of the printheads: Printhead 1, Printhead 2, Printhead 3. Each of these has one section for each agent: fusing and detailing. Each agent section is divided in two parts. Compare, all nozzles are used for printing. This is useful to diagnose the overall number of defective nozzles. Identify, small groups of consecutive nozzles are used to print each line. Note that the detailing agent, shown in yellow in the image, is not normally visible. However, it may sometimes partially appear in a very light shade of gray. If visible, perform the detailing agent cleanliness diagnostic to analyze for cross-contamination, keeping in mind that this status plot can't guarantee proof of cross-contamination. The Compare section shows isolated, or individual, nozzles. You can use it to assess your nozzle health by inspecting the percentage of random nozzles out in an area of a printhead. Note that the printer performs a check, using a scan called drop detector, to identify the total amount of nozzles out, even for both types of agents. Consider that the printhead status plot cannot show the detailing agent nozzles that are missing. For this reason, during the drop detector scan, the printer will update you with the total number of nozzles missing and give you a printhead status message, in order to help you understand the total percentage missing. In case of obtaining 0 to 20%, the printhead works correctly, with no risk of defects. 20 to 30%, there is a low risk of defects. More than 30%, there is a high risk of defects, so it is recommended to recover the printhead. Consider that random nozzles out have a much lower impact on mechanical properties than consecutive nozzles out. The Identify section shows small groups of consecutive nozzles. This allows you to check which areas could be problematic, and to decide whether the number of consecutive nozzles out could produce defects. The printer will show one of the following results. None missing, the printhead works correctly, with no impact on mechanical properties. 1 to 4 sequential groups missing, there is a low risk of impact on mechanical properties. 5 or more sequential groups missing, there is a high risk of impact on mechanical properties. Check, in the printhead status plot, where the missing nozzles are located. If the number of consecutive fusing agent nozzles out covers an area of 1 mm or more, the part printed in that area will come out of the build unit severely damaged or even split in two. You can check the printhead status plot for comparison and see where the part quality issue is located.